What's up, Black Comic Lords? It's your boy Paul. Once again, it's on with another Black comic creator interview. This particular interview is long overdue. This is a brother who is just super talented in ways that are not recognized enough. Mr. Ray Anthony Height. Ray Anthony Height is a native of Compton, California. He's a seasoned comic book artist, character designer, and founder of Studio Skye. With an impressive portfolio, Ray has contributed to renowned titles at Marvel Comics, including Amazing Spider-Man, Star Wars, Dr. Aphra, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, alongside working on storyboards for Guardians of the Galaxy, the animated series, and designing toys for Hasbro properties like G.I. Joe and Spider-Man. He's also collaborated with DC Comics on Truth and Justice and Milestone Media's My Dear Heart in Milestone Media's In History and Archie Comics in 1955. In 2023, Ray launched Studio Skye with a vision inspired by the mentorship practices of beloved mangaka and anime studios. The studio's purpose is to create a supportive and collaborative environment, offering a paid mentorship program for aspiring artists. He's dedicated to alleviating the pressures that independent creators often face while nurturing a community where skills can flourish. The primary goal is to produce exceptional comics and illustrations while helping assistants enhance their craft and build valuable connections within the industry. Additionally, the studio aims to establish strong working relationships with publishers and writers seeking top-tier artists known for their storytelling and professionalism. As a small publisher, Studio Skye not only provides a platform for aspiring artists, but also produces its own original comics. This dual approach allows Ray to blend mentorship with publishing, creating a dynamic space where creativity thrives and high-quality content is generated. We're all excited to see the impact of this initiative and potential it holds for future creators. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ray Anthony Height.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
How you doing, brother?
That was quite the mouthful.
Yeah, I stumbled over a couple words there. My mouth is a little dry. I apologize.
Oh, hey, no worries. You delivered quite well as far as I was concerned.
Thank you, man.
Just hearing it back is like, I don't even know who this cat is.
So you know you got some dope accolades. You don't even recognize yourself.
You know what?
Let's see what's up with people in the chat before we get going. Anthony Davis, what's up? Forever 97. Charles Stewart III, talent in the house.
Yes.
Kevin Pitts, loyal fan. Always appreciate you, brother. The Grand Poobah himself, Paul is the DJ. Tonight is Ray as its guest. Yeah, man. I'm solo again. Derek is doing what Derek does, fighting the freedom wherever there's trouble. Derek is there. He's traveling the world doing whatever he does for his agency. I'm not allowed to talk anymore about that. I'm guessing this is your wife.
Oh, yes. It is the one and the only, Shayla Height, creator of WTF Mama.
We're going to talk about you, Miss Shayla. I read this. Hilarious. Your talent. Your talent. Daniel K. Golden, welcome. Pericles Dragon Balls in the house. Ray Anthony.
Yes, sir.
First Degree Sports. Sewer Reptile.
Oh, yes. In the studio, TJ Bell, represent.
All right. Charles says, Derek's probably a part of CTU from the 24 series.
Got to keep that low.
We have one of the rules of our Black Comic Lords lives is we never talk about what Derek does for a living. All right. He's like Tommy from Martin. You don't know what he's doing.
No.
It's probably best you don't know. So let's talk about you, man. Let's start with this. What's your comic book superhero origin story? How'd you get into comics?
Man, you want the long version or you want the short version?
How much time you got?
I got as much time as it takes to get the message through that, Studio Sky Tiger Comics is here and we locked in. We're ready to blaze. So,
All right, we'll talk about it, man. I'm
uh,
Captain America. I can do this all day.
okay, let's go. So, I'm just a boy from Compton. Um, and my comic origin story started with the the Spider-Man from the 60s. I definitely, it was before my time, but when I saw it, it was early in the morning before I went to school, and here's this, cool superhero character. And it was like those paste from the comic strips, when they had the Namor and the song and all that. And and I was like, okay, this is really, really cool. And then I was about 10 years old. My cousin actually introduced me to comics. It's not that I didn't know that they existed, but I never actually owned a comic book until I was about 10 years old.
Yeah.
And it was like Conan, the John Buscema, and what was it? Power Man and Iron Fist and Spider Man. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Spider Man is a comic? And my cousin was like, fool, yeah, that's where it started. It's a comic book. I was hooked. Like, I was seriously hooked. And from that point on, I was drawing stuff out of the comic book and stuff like that, all the stuff that he let me use, because he was an artist too. So, but it wasn't really until like I was like 13, I was thinking, I think I can do this. I want to do this. I'm doing it for fun. I'm making up my own stories and stuff like that. So, as time went on, I'm popping in, popping out, doing stuff with my friends, all the little blurs in the neighborhood. We was all, locked in together, dodging bullets, you know what I'm saying? And staying away from the homies on the corner, like whatever. And so my cousin would say something like, comics saved our lives. And he was right, God rest his soul. And so about 16, like Paul, we was making RPGs, we was, comic books, all kind of stuff, just imagination just exploding.
Yeah.
And then I saw a Black Enterprise magazine cover.
Let me guess, the one from Milestone Media.
The one from Milestone Media. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, I'm doing this.
You could do something dope and make money at the same time? What?
Exactly. I might be on the cover of a magazine too. What? So yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I published my first comic book. So technically, I've been in publishing since I was 19. So I published my first comic book was an ash can at 19 years old with a group of my friends. And, and then we did it again when I was 20. But all the time I'm trying to break into Marvel. I think I was trying to send samples of Antarctic Press. I sent samples to DC. I've been sending samples, but I'm going to tell you something about me. I don't like to wait. And I don't like to wait for permission. So I'm doing the comics myself, and I'll just wait it out. Like they'll hit me up, no worries. And I was all up and down. Kevin Grievous, me and Kevin worked together. I did a bunch of stuff. I worked at Image Comics under Jay Farber with Noble Causes, and as a matter of fact, some inside baseball. Midnight Tiger is in the Image Comics universe. He's at Captain Dynamo's funeral.
Really?
Yep. So, peep that out. Find that.
What comic is that?
That's Dynamo 5. And
Dynamo
it's a funeral issue. I think it might be issue 1, issue 2, something like that. But it's a great comic book. Mahmoud Asrar.
Yeah.
From he was an artist. So so Jay, he had a talent for finding talent. So he had Mahmoud, he had Ildure Sanar. We was all in his stable Image. So shout out to Jay. But yeah, I mean, I've been up and around. And then during the Pencil Jack days and Wizard message boards and all that, my boys was LaShawn Thomas, Mark Brooks, Sanford Green, Kari Randolph. Like, we all came up together, Scotty Young, all of us. We all came up together. So I was in and around all that stuff,
That's one of the reasons why it was so important to me to bring you on.
Hmm.
You know, we've done a lot of these interviews, and we talk to a lot of creators. And routinely, when they talk about projects they're working on, people they're cool with, people they respect in the business, your name always comes up. It
For
always
real?
comes up. Yeah,
Okay.
for real. Oh, Ray Anthony Height. Oh yeah, I know Ray Anthony Height. Um, you know, this isn't your first time on Black Comic Lords. You were when we brought you on for the Shadow Cabinet final issue, I think it was,
Yes,
with
sir.
Joe Illidge and the GOAT Dennis Cowan.
Yes.
And these cats, these are giants in the industry, and they mess with you, man. Like that wasn't the word I was going to use, but I'm not like. But
That's all right.
you know what I'm saying? Like they got respect for you, right? When you know someone like Dennis Cowan or Joe Illidge say, "Yeah, this is a guy I'm working with on this project." They don't just work with anybody,
That I can attest to that.
right?
Yeah.
They're choosy about who they choose to work with. You got to be good, and you know that speaks volumes for you. But you're not, and don't take offense to this. You're not a household name,
I am not, and it
but
gets
you
thrown
should be.
in my face. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this, Paul. I posted this today, and and it happened over the weekend. We did very well at LA Comic Con this weekend, but I'm gonna tell you what I am, and it's a good place to be, but I think it takes a mature mind to understand how good it is.
Yeah.
So, just to give you some backstory about me and Dennis, I was at a really small LA convention. I was on the grind. I was new booty, young, early 20s. And, I had a table and doing sketches. And I think I had my little book. And this cat walks up to the table. He's real smooth. I don't really see his face. And he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And it's me and Matthew Humphreys and my friend named Dre. Matthew Humphreys ended up becoming a director, animation director. But he's like, "Why don't you guys come check me out? Here's my card." And I look up and I said, "I know that face." And I look and I was like, "That's Dennis Cowan." So Dennis gave me his card, and that's how I ended up becoming my mentor. And he introduced me to Dwayne and Paul Dini and stuff like that over at Warner Brothers when they was doing Static.
Yeah.
So that's why we're close. I learned from him. I learned from Dwayne. And this is, like I said, my early 20s. And if you talk to Dennis will tell you that he said, "Well, you were fully formed by the time, I got to you." And I was like, but he broke habits that I had to reinvent myself.
Right.
Right. So, and me and Dwayne and, Shayla's in the chat. She could attest, like Dwayne would pop over to my table and he wouldn't leave for like an hour. We would just be chopping it up. Right. So, it was that kind of relationship that I had with these guys. And I learned, I am a sponge. I'm like somebody who I spend more time learning sometimes than I do executing,
Yeah.
because I want to know as much as I can. So leading up to what you're talking about is that I am now somehow become your favorite artist's favorite artist. And they used to say that about Alex Toth. Right? Because when Toth was on, other people were more popular, but artists was like, "Oh, I love this guy. Oh, I love this guy." Right? So in a situation like that, at first I was like, I want to be popular. I want to launch a book. I've never launched a book until Joe Illidge.
Right.
Joe Illidge picked me up because, again, we was in and around the same, situation. He was like, "You want to do this book called Superb over at Catalyst Prime." Right? And he says, "You can do the covers and you're the interior artist. It is your book."
Right.
I did about 8 issues of that. So it was my book. I launched a book. Nobody, do you know, I don't get any books to sign That's superb. And I was on that book, and I launched that book, and we were the #2 book at Lion Forge, the Catalyst Prime line.
Right, right.
But nobody brings that book because it was Lion Forge at it was brand new, right? I see more Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I see more Dr. Afra. And while I was working on Superb, and those issues is coming out, and this is what I tell my crew: you never know who's watching. That's when Marvel was like, "Hey, you want to do the X-Men?" Right? And so I talked to Joe. I was like, hey, Marvel asked me to do like a little X-Men thing. Is that cool? Like while I'm doing that? And he was like, you better take that. He said, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
Right. And so I hadn't even started the work yet. And the news broke on Bleeding Cool that I was doing the X-Men. Right. And I only did 6 pages or something like that to help out. And so I finished that. I went back to Superb, and then they called me back. And it was basically trying to get me to go back and forth between to relieve Jorge Molina.
Another dope artist.
Yeah. Yes. So we was going to do the back and forth thing. I will tell you, and I told Asia Simone, who is someone who I mentor, like, hey, doing 2 books, me and Kari Randolph talked about this, will break you. It will break you. And I was broken. I would never do that again. I would never do 2 books simultaneously again. I don't have it in me. I'm not JR, you know what I mean? Like I can't do that. But that's my experience. You know what I mean? Like that's my experience. People know me. I've been around. They respect my work, and I got all kind of like fans. And it's funny because people will come up to me, and I would say people know me from 3 things. They know me from Dr. Afra, because the Star Wars thing was huge. They know me from Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. But the only problem with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is that the regular superhero comic book fans, they're not feeling that, right? But the younger kids and different folks, because it does well in the trade, that's where they found me.
Right.
And if you notice my work on that, they brought me in when it was like big superhero fight scenes. Like I did the introduction to Lunella and Spider-Man. And I asked, up until that point, I was basically trying to match Natasha's style. Because
Natasha Bustos.
Yes, Natasha Bustos, genius. So here's what's the thing about that and me, is that I'm also one of those people that if there's a style change or an artist change, you get this kind of knee jerk if it's just too different. So I knew that in order to make it a little more seamless, let's try to match that style. Let's try
match the style. And we're going to talk about that because we're going to talk about the fact that beyond just being a dope artist, one of the comments I make on this channel all the time is, you're a dope artist when I can just look at a piece of your work and immediately say, that's so-and-so and such and such. Right. Like you can't hide Dennis Cowan art from me.
No.
It's got a unique style. You can't hide a Torrin Clark. They got unique styles. These artists have styles that you can see it and say, that's by so-and-so. You are kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum because you got about 4 or 5 styles at least that I've seen you do.
Torrin Clark said 2 things. One thing that when he initially said it made me a little embarrassed, and the other one was high praise. He says, you can do any style competently.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's by design, right? So I can seamlessly move in and out. Marvel would pick me to do things like that. That's why I stayed working with him. So the other name that people had for me is essentially, I'm the artist that you have his work, but you don't know you have his work.
Exactly.
Right. And it's because you think it's somebody else's work because I've relieved an artist, but it's really mine.
Right. You understand in early comics, we're talking Bronze Era or before, when I hear these stories about Black artists breaking into the industry, typically it was doing what you just described. Um, it was be very hard pressed for a Black artist to get a regular series to do. So, but they'd get bit work where they're sort of filling in, and you had these uber talented artists that, because they were able to make that shift and make an easy transition to make it seem like you're like this previous artist, and they get hired to like, hey, this, we don't want anything to be too jarring to the audience, so we want you to match the style, and they could do it.
Yeah.
But it was like an under-recognized skill. Like, you got to be there are plenty of artists that are dope, right?
Oh,
that they in their lane, incomparable. But imagine being able to do that 5 times in 5 different styles. That's you. That's
why Torn is like,
opinion,
this
that's
is
a whole
the name.
level, because you can emulate anybody's style. That is not a recognized enough skill, in my opinion.
Torn calls me maestro, and that was like, I don't know about that. And he's like, nah, what you can do, not many people can do.
We're going to talk about that a little later when we start looking at some of the stuff that you did. But let's talk about what you are most famous for, at least in the machinations of my own.
Go and say it.
All right.
Yes.
Midnight Tiger.
That's what I'm most famous for. Yes.
This is the first thing I ever saw you on, and this was 10, 15 years ago, maybe.
2000.
How far back was Midnight Tiger? The first time I saw it was on Comixology.
Oh, well, then that was 2012. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not off, right?
Nope, you're not off.
Yeah, it was between 10 to 15 years ago.
I was one of the first books on Comixology when they was really gatekeeping that. It was hardcore, man. I didn't think I was going to get in.
I was hardcore into my Comixology account. I had so many friggin' indie works in there, man. That's how I'd try and figure out which books I'd want to go out and buy. And I remember Midnight Tiger being one of those first ones I got.
That's awesome.
And was looking for it at the LCS, couldn't find it. Very disappointed until years later. Come across you again. Yes. So I've been a fan of yours since, what'd you say? 2012. That's how long I've been a Ray Anthony Height fan.
Well, you was one of the first ones, man. You were like, especially.
You better recognize. You better recognize.
Look, I've been recognizing. You let me know too. You let me know. This is the reason why we needed to have this interview like this.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the putting together this book.
Okay.
You assembled. You talk about. We'll talk about this a little bit later about Skye Tiger Studios, but you've got a dope team surrounding you. You have done the plot on all of the issues.
Yes.
You've done the art on some of these. Talk about your team.
So from issue 0 to, I want to say, issue 2. So here's the thing, and you probably have heard this from other artists. Back in the day, we used to start out, it was like you need to pick a lane. You want to be an inker, you want to be a penciler, you want to be, whatever, right? And so, there was very few, at least from my knowledge, there was very few people working at Marvel and DC or whatever there was, both writing and drawing. That was a rarefied air. That was the 1%. So I was like, well, I don't feel confident, even though I had been drawing comics for so long, I forgot that I could write. So, but I plotted. So I plotted the whole thing out. And then I said, you know what, let me get somebody who's just coming up and who's a pretty good writer. So, I tapped in with Dwayne Feenstra. Shout out to Dwayne Feenstra. And so I paid Dwayne. I was like, I'm going to pay you to script, and I said, here's a plot. So here's everything right there, but I'm going to pay the script. And then, but don't worry about it. I'll do everything else. You know, I got a letterer and I got a colorist, and then we went to town. And so when it got picked up by Action Lab Entertainment, and we all know what happened with that, right? Where they held on to the rights. So at Image, when you have an Image book and you do a number one, the sales from a number one is supposed to pay for the rest of the miniseries or whatever it is you're doing.
Right.
At least the first few, because you know that second issue dipped at 30%.
Right.
When I got, and first of all, it took a long time for me to even get any numbers back from Action Lab in the first place. And that's fine. You know, I'm an easygoing guy, man. Like, I'm real patient. I'm cool, whatever. But when I realized that they were like, well, you know, for this indie book and blah, 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 you know, you did 2,500 sales, 2,500 copies, you know, sold in the store. And I was like, what, you know, basically what the price point was, is it enough to pay for this issue? Because I'm looking for 5,000, not 2,500, at least 5,000 during that time. And I was like, well, this book is going to get canceled. But they wouldn't let me cancel it, Paul.
Wouldn't let you cancel it?
No, I kept telling them, you need to cancel it. You need to cancel this book. I'm not making enough money, because the last thing I wanted you to do, or wanted me to do, was owe them money, because that's, you know, if you're paying for all that, right? So
it's like a reverse mortgage or something.
Exactly. Yes, it's exactly like that. It's like, no, you know, just keep it going and blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, I don't know about this. I said, based on these sales, that was red flag number one. Because why would you keep a book going that wasn't doing, you know, didn't have a big run like in the beginning, at least 5,000, right? Now you're dipping into the red. Why would you go into the red? So, but I was like, okay, fine. I was already in the middle of issue 2. And they asked me to do the 0 issue for Free Comic Book Day, which was pretty big. So I did that. I did the 0 issue, which is, you see, 12 pages. That was fun. Because when I started the book, Gavin had already gotten his powers, right? Issue 1 came out, he had already gotten his powers. But I decided to go back with issue 0 because they were asking what I was going to do. And I was already in the middle of issue 2. And if you notice, issue 2 actual sequentials only have 15 pages. That's when I decided, I think I'm done here, because I'm giving them all my juice for no money. I ain't seen a dime. I think we good. And so I said, I'm stopping right now. But then we turned around and we did Actionverse, which I got paid nothing for. But I got to work with my friends, Jamal Eigel, Vito Del Sante. And that book was, you know, that whole crossover was great, because it was Stray and Molly Danger. You know, you probably saw that one too, Paul. So, you know, people talk about that. I signed that one. Like, people bring that book up. So that's where I was at. Fast forward, now I'm working for Marvel full time. There is no issue 3, you know, and I'm waiting to get my rights back, essentially.
That was my next question. Like, who owns the rights at this point?
Oh, I own everything now.
Okay.
I own absolutely everything. And shout out to CEX Publishing, because they, after I got my rights back, they were like, I was already doing a campaign digitally, and I had to do it digitally because at that point, Action Lab owned my printing rights.
Did you have to buy your rights back? I
didn't, luckily, because I wasn't over there talking shit about Action Lab during that time. I really just wasn't. I'm not that kind of person. Like, I handle my business. If me and you in a situation, we handled it behind the scenes. Right? And I had handled that behind the scenes. And so, you know, good on Brian Seaton, because Brian was like, you was cool. You wasn't bashing me. You wasn't doing none of this other kind of stuff online. And when I asked for it back, he was like, here you go. Paperwork, boom, boom, boom. Good luck. So, and I kept that low for a long time, because I knew there was a lot of people out there struggling.
Right.
You know, I kept it low, because how that sound? I got my rights back real easy. And
so what year did you get your rights back?
2022, I think.
Oh, just 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2022 or the end of 2021, something like that. But it was definitely 2020s, and we only 2025. So think about that.
Right.
So I've really only had my rights fully back about 3 years. Let's just call it 3 years. But yeah, during that time, I did that digital campaign, and people was like, "We want the book. We want an actual, you know, print book." And I was like, I can't give it to you. I can't give it to you because that's a some legal mumbo jumbo jargon, whatever. So CX, once they learned that I got everything back, they were like, let's compile what you're doing now and do what you set out to do, which is to do a trade.
Yeah.
And Andy Schmidt, who ended up turning out to be one of my bestie friends, who is now the editor-in-chief of Boom. And but he had CEX. He's like, let's do it. We did a Kickstarter. It got almost $12,000. It was a nice hardcover. It was a 30-page issue 3. Right? It was fat. You would know. You got it. Right? It was a whole thing. We had dust jacket. Like, and he flexing on y'all because he got the exclusive Kickstarter.
Come on, blast like that, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, and you see these names on here, right? Like Erica Schultz writes Wolverine.
Right.
We've been friends forever. Right. Like Torrin Clark. Torrin Clark did the exclusive cover.
Right.
For issue 3. Now talk about exclusive. Only 30 of those was printed. So that's my team. And then once I got to issue 3, that was Studio Skye Tiger. Issue 3 was Studio Skye Tiger, straight up. And Kevin Grevious had been in my ear since we lived in Palmdale. And he was like, Black man, you could just write and draw your own thing.
Good attempt at Kevin's voice.
I can't do it. I got to be sick.
Nobody can.
I got to be sick to do it good. But yeah, and I was like, okay. And Kevin kept pushing it. He was like, you could write and draw your own stuff. Because we would talk about story all the time. Like I was telling people, I said, I saw Blue Marvel before it went to Marvel. Like we talk about that stuff all the time. And I knew that was going to be a banger. But I said, okay, Kev. And that was it. And I said, you know what? From here on out, I'm writing my own stuff. I was already dabbling. So
it's almost a blessing in disguise, in my opinion. Because, and I might get into hot water for this.
Go ahead.
This might get quoted because I'm an old head, right?
Right.
I'm an old head. Me, Rich, were old heads of comics. And I think floppies exist in comics for a lot of our old heads that still like to get and collect our floppies and preserve them in our little plastic bag, Mylar bags with the backing boards. But there's a contention out there that this is a dying way to do comics. That trade paperbacks and graphic novels is the future. Especially when you're competing against manga, which is blown up. You gave a perfect example when you mentioned the Moon Girl book, right? Yeah. It says a lot that the floppies did not sell as well as when they compiled it into a trade, and then the younger generation, that's what they were into.
They scooped that right up.
Because I would buy, and I tell this story all the time, I'm trying to get my daughter into comics. I bought her these comics. I bought her the Moon Girls, the Naomis, and what have you. Got her all these floppies, and she just very politely, Daddy, I appreciate you buying these comics for me.
Let you down easy.
But I don't need part of the story. I want the whole story.
Yes.
And so I started getting her trades, and that's how she started to read them. And I think that's just a younger generation thing. We're in a binge era now. Nobody wants to watch one episode and wait another week. No. We're in a society where people want to binge the entire season at once. And I tell you, when I sat down and read all of this at once, it was done before I could even realize it was done. And it was like over 120 pages or so.
Yeah, so it's definitely about 100 some odd pages.
Yeah, I read it like that. It took me no time.
That's a good thing. That means the story flows.
The story flows. The story flows. And I really do think, in my personal opinion, maybe I should put my own BCL disclaimer.
Maybe,
Charles Stewart,
yeah, put it up there.
I need to put my BCL disclaimer on myself. Here we go. Just to be fair, because I'm usually the one doing it to the other guys. In my opinion, trades are the future of comics. I think that's the smarter way to do comics in the future, whether you're doing them in Kickstarters as an indie or whether you're doing it at Marvel and DC. I think that is the better way to do comics.
Yes.
Anyway.
And Paul, no, to wit, I will say, these Kickstarters that Studio Skye Tiger Comics is doing, they are put out in issues for folks that like the issues and want to get the comics and stuff like that. But the ultimate goal is to get something in your hands just like you have in your hands right now. And it's like our first arc is a 6-issue arc. Hey, you know Sean Damian Hill is part of Studio Skye Tiger too, right?
He is?
Ask him.
Ron, is that true? Are you a member of Studio Skye Tiger?
So,
wait, hold on. Man, you can't just drop a nugget like that. I gotta.
This is a Black Comic Lords exclusive.
This is what happens when Derek's not here and I'm unsupervised. I just start pushing buttons, man. I'm completely rogue.
Yep. That's real. Did you see? Put that up there. What did he say?
What, Sean? He said proudly yes. He's a member of Studio. Wow.
So what did you say to me in our DMs? You mentioned a name, and I'm about to drop some names on you, but you mentioned a name that what you think I'm doing, and it wasn't my intention.
I mentioned the name. I say a lot of things, man. You don't listen to me.
You really do. You mentioned Dennis's, Dwayne's.
Yeah.
Eric. Yes. You were like,
oh,
there milestone. It is. There's a memory.
Milestone. Yes. We're going to talk about that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. We'll put that in.
Let's jump into the story. Let's go.
Let's sell people on Midnight Tiger that's been sleeping on it. Let's go.
All right. So, issue 0. Love these covers. Who did these covers, by the way?
So the colors for that was the first cover of the first book that I ever did on your right. And I did
that was also the cover for my Comixology.
Yes, so that's how it premiered, and people seem to love that cover. So the colors were done by Jeff Chamba Cruz. If you know his work, look him up. He's also a very good friend, and I have covers that I haven't even used from him yet.
Who did the pencils?
I did everything else. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to make note of what he just said. I did everything else. I want you to note this art style. Look at that art style. There'll be a quiz later.
Oh, yes.
Compare and contrast. All right.
And so
who did the one on the left?
So I took that cover. I corrected the colors because it's more. It's got the orange. So I took that image and the actual drawing, those colors and all that kind of stuff of Gavin standing with his mask off. I did the entire thing.
That's what's up. Notice the 2 different styles on the one cover. Art aficionados, pay attention. Look at what I'm showing you. Look at the cover on the left. The background picture was done way back in the day in 2012. The foreground picture, when did you do that one?
Maybe 2020.
Almost 10 years later, right? 20. I can't do math, but suffice to say, it was a long time later. And there are 2 different art styles.
Yeah.
We'll see more of that. So let's talk about who this character Gavin is. Tell us about who this character is.
Gavin Shaw is every blurred that we know. It was me, it's you, it's my son, who is definitely Gavin is based off my son and myself and all the people I grew up with. So Gavin grows up. It's really Long Beach, California, but according to the Castros, who have basically merged Long Beach with their dimension, they are calling it Apollo Bay, and they have wiped the minds of every citizen in the city and rewrote it. So Gavin is a big fan, a big blurred. He loves video games. He loves stuff like Minecraft, all that stuff. But he also loves superheroes, and he's a big superhero nerd. So when superheroes don't come to your city, just like I was thinking when I was a kid, like, why are all the superheroes in New York? We ain't got no people in Compton. You know what I mean? Gavin notices the same thing. Like, we got people that's hurting here. We got all kind of stuff that's going down. It's dangerous living in these streets. And we ain't seen superhero the first, and the cops are inept. They might be in on the stuff. So he gets kind of pissed off, as you see in the origin story, where you see where his inspiration is. Like, I got all these superheroes on my wall, I ain't seen a single one. And so he's kind of pissed until that fateful night where he finds one that's in distress. And then we go from there. That's how his origin, that's why it's called Midnight Tiger Origins. Now, he's a kid that he loves cook. He really wants to be a chef. That's really his like innate talent. He enjoys that. Hey Danny. Like he's funny. He's definitely, if you can tell, like he's got opinions. This guy, he's opinionated. He could be judgmental. Sometimes he's just right off the cuff, says things that's on his mind, whether he's right or wrong, although he does try to rationalize things. He's not a genius like Virgil or Peter Parker or even Miles. He's not that dude. What he does is he's a genius of tenacity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't
shout out to Joe Illidge, by the way.
Oh, Joe, my man. Joe Illidge is the dude of the dudes. Yep. Thank you for support. Everybody that's showing up in the chat, I just want to say I love y'all and appreciate the support. And I need y'all to be banging out there for this Kickstarter, which is only halfway, and we're halfway in the middle of the campaign.
It's just like what I was telling y'all earlier. When it comes to the comics community, those who know.
That's right.
When it comes to Ray Anthony Height.
Yeah, and you saw Joe. Like, and so anyway, yeah. Any other questions about Gavin? I'll throw them out there with you. It's him and his pops, his father and son. And him and, well, we ain't gotten to his friend yet, but I'll answer that question.
We'll get into that. We'll also get into his power set. So issues 0.
Yes.
Jump in, first page. I love the lead-in. Why? Because the lead-in is me. The lead-in is you. The lead-in is all y'all nerds watching this right now. You got this dude's room. He's got superhero or pop culture posters on his walls. He's got spaceships hanging from the ceiling. He's got the nerd memorabilia. And here's the part that's really, really cool. Your universe exists within, I would say, almost our universe. It makes reference to all these other pop culture things that we're all into. Marvel comics, DC comics, whether it be Star Wars, Star Trek, all the nerd stuff that we're into as a culture exists in this book. And it adds a level of realism and certainly what's the word for that? Identifiability?
Yeah.
I just made that up. I just made that word up. I'm gonna roll with it. Identifiability.
Roll with it.
The other thing that strikes me about this scene specifically is I could almost swear I was looking at a panel from Miles Morales, Spider-Man. And I'm looking at Miles and Genki. Why is that?
So, first of all, you gotta think. This panel was drawn in 2013. So definitely, yeah, like 2014. It was drawn in 2014.
Yeah.
And as you see, Gavin's best friend Dex, Pacific Islander, big homie, softy, football player. He has, curly hair. Like like I grew up in Compton. We grew up with Samoans, you know what I mean? Like that was it. That was our peoples.
Right.
So that represents
On
that.
the West Coast, you understand.
Yes, on the West Coast, you absolutely understand. When Genki came into play, and I don't know when that was. I mean, you'd have to check the dates, Paul. He didn't look like this. He didn't have long hair, I don't believe.
No.
Or any of that. How does Genki look now?
Like this.
Like this. I want y'all to figure that out.
All right. So these guys, a couple of nerds, kicking it, making pop culture references. He rides on his bicycle and he drops an F-bomb. The F-bomb of all F-bombs in nerd culture. Anyone in the chat know what I'm talking about? I'll give you 5 seconds to post it. What's the F-bomb of nerd culture? No one's taking. No one knows what the hell I'm talking about. These fracking people. He drops fracking. Like in a fracking comic book. Wow. I about fell out my chair. I was like, no, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not. That's right. Battlestar Galactica.
That's right.
One of the best television shows of all time.
I shout out to Wayne Feenstra for dropping that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So he runs into one of your characters from the very beginning. Who's this character?
So I'm going to give you guys some inside baseball. This is Lion's Blood, who is a member of my version of the New Warriors called the Icons. And
I love how you said my version of the New Warriors. You didn't say Avengers or Justice League. No. You said the New Warriors. That's a very specific reference.
Okay. So any New Warriors fans out there,
me?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And here's the inside baseball part, not just the New Warriors part, but Midnight Tiger is inspired by the Puma and Spider-Man. And if you look at Lion's Blood, now you can see. So anybody who's out there trying to say, oh, this is Black Panther, nah, son, correct yourself. So
he also runs into this guy.
Yeah, Hyena. Hyena is this is a cat who experimented on himself because he was jealous of Lion's Blood. And he's thinking, hey, I need to match my friend or whatever, because they're both scientists together. And he's been acting real funny ever since he was like, I'm not going to turn you into one of these things. I'm not going to turn you into me. This is a curse. Right? So he synthesized a version of the strain of, alienthropy.
What?
Alienthropy. It is people who can transform into animals. It's like a virus. So lycanthropy, alienthropy is the universal. So you get
lycanthropy being the werewolf serum.
That's right. So, he basically slashed Lion's Blood. He did something to him, and I don't know if you're going to show that part, but Lion's Blood has a healing factor that, let's just say, when Hyena got through with him, don't work no more.
So just to be clear, he runs into this cat, Lion's Blood, which Eric Nation points out, dope name, by the way.
Thank you.
He's gotten beat up. He's got into a fight with Hyena. They're fighting over the serum. He steps into the fight, trying to protect Lion's Blood from the fight with Hyena. And Hyena's like, yeah, you're kind of in my way right now. So I'm going to take you out. Fast forward, dude's in the hospital. He got thrashed by Hyena. It did not go well. His dad's at the hospital. The police show up. We'll talk more about this police officer.
Yes.
But they know that metahumans are involved. They make reference to the fact that there are metahumans that are involved in this attack on Gavin. Quickly tell us what is in this world. Metahumans, they're known, right?
Okay, I was just going to drop that. They're known as amps, so called amplified humans. So metahumans in
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Amplified. And amplified humans, man. Hey, so the thing is, amplified humans, I would say, as far as the initial world before everything, let's say, goes sideways, they're superheroes. That's why they're over the world and whatever. Let's say there's probably about maybe 500 known amplified humans. So it's not a lot as far as let's call it 7 billion population.
Right.
But they vary, the same type of origin stories as anybody else. Like the Omegan, who is our version of, let's call it Superman meets Reed Richards, because his family is super powered.
Superman meets Reed Richards. The Blue Marvel by definition.
Ooh, I like that. And now see, this came out before that. and we don't even see the Omegan, but his presence is felt, or his absence is.
Right. I like this comment here. No powers, just a team, but willing to step in front of an injured superhero to protect them. Instant fave. This goes back to what you were saying about Gavin. He's not like, super smart like Virgil or Peter Parker.
That wasn't no smart move for sure.
But you said he has tenacity. I would also throw in there, as a part of that tenacity, courage. The guy's courageous. He's a hero. He's willing to stand up for others and at the cost of himself.
Every time.
He's automatically a hero before he even has powers. I thought that was I think an important statement to make, that he was a hero before he got the powers.
That's right.
He
didn't even want them. His dream was never to be a superhero. He's just an admirer.
Yeah.
That's all. That wasn't his dream at all. He's like, I just wish they would come and help my people. Like that's really it.
But he's gonna get the powers anyway.
That's right.
So this is Lion's Blood. Tell us what Lion's Blood's up to here.
So Lion's Blood knows what has happened to Gavin, feels guilty. And I mean,
he's basically on his deathbed.
Yes. Yes, he's on his deathbed. I mean, behind the scenes, Gavin's probably died a couple of times. They just brought him back. And Lion's Blood is like, I need to save this boy, because he didn't have to do what he did. And so he does the one thing that he knows will speed up his own death, which is transform back into a human. And he synthesized this serum that is a version of the strain that he has. The same thing Hyena wanted. I want y'all to remember that, because Hyena will return. And then he injects it in there. He injects it and gives Gavin the boost he needs. He said, you know what? I can't save myself, but I can save this boy, because he didn't deserve to die. He didn't deserve that.
Right. And what happens next? Oh, snap. I got superpowers. Reminded me of the montage on the rooftops in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, where he's like, oh, wow, I got superpowers. And he's testing his limits. Talk about what are his physical abilities.
So at this point, in Origins, Gavin realizes he has super strength, agility, so the Flash's reflexes, but he can't run as fast as a Flash, but his reflexes are incredibly, like, blindingly fast.
Amped.
He is an amp now, right?
I love that amp term. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep saying amp.
Look, I want that term to keep going. Just like mutant was, we got amps. right? So, he finds out clearly, I know the wounds that I had because I didn't get into it, but he's waking up, not waking up, and they're talking about it. I mean, they even say it. I think it's even written in the text, like he wasn't supposed to survive. And now all of a sudden he's healing to the point where you might not even be able to see his wounds at this point.
Right. He's feeling
So,
better than ever.
He's feeling better than ever. But because he's a big superhero fan and he knows what's happened, he keeping that low.
So what's the next logical step when you're a super brave kid and you've now been granted superpowers?
And your city needs a superhero.
And your city needs a superhero. You got to make yourself a super suit. Great homage for the comic book heads out there. Great homage to Steve Ditko with his Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Fantasy 15, however you want to phrase it. First issue where Peter Parker says, "Hey, I have powers. I need a suit." So he pulls out his notebook pad and a pencil and crayons and starts designing suits. This is the 21st century. This is 2025. He pulls out his MacBook Pro.
That's right. That's right.
And decides to design his super suit. And the versions he has, the inspirations is part Spider-Man, part Wolverine, part Black Panther. You don't actually call them that, but you visually kind of show them.
People who know.
Yeah. Right up to the edge where you don't have to get lawyers involved, but
Paul, you're going to find out that's all I do. I go right up to the edge.
Right up to the edge, wave high and say, "You can't touch me." No, this is dope though. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier about this is a world that we're familiar with. This is a guy that we're familiar with because he's a little bit of him is in all of us.
Yes.
That
is baked into the cake.
Yeah. Yeah. It just makes it that much better. All right. So that was just the first issue. That's just issue 0.
That's a 0 issue.
That was just 0 issue. We haven't even got to the actual issue. So issue number 1 starts off with the band with what would seamlessly be just some regular hobo guy who apparently has superpowers. Can you talk about this character? Because I get the feeling this guy's going to come back.
Oh, he's going to come back in a serious way. So, this is Infernus. And Infernus, for the last few years, I told you about the city, right? If you enter this city and the Castrals have cast some kind of crazy arcane spell that rewrites your brain, he thought he was a bum this whole time. And something jogs his memory. And he wakes up and he's pissed. And he remembers how he's been treated as a bum, and he also remembers who he is. Now, Infernus in the Midnight Tiger universe is on par with Magneto.
Really?
So just imagine, yes, oh yes. He essentially is a fire elemental. But his power, it's like if Johnny Storm had Magneto's brain.
Okay.
So this is who Infernus is, and he's like, you know what? I'm pissed. I'm pissed at who I think has done this to me. Just so you know, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how this happened to him. He's just speculating because he's been fighting these guys probably for years. So he's thinking the heroes have gave him the okie doke. And he's out for revenge. And at the same time, while he's burning up the promenade, Midnight Tiger's doing his Midnight Tiger thing.
Goes on his first patrol.
Yes.
Starts to flex his powers. Beating up the bad guys. Becomes a scourge of the night, getting a bit of a reputation in the city. There's a new player in town. There's a new amp out there, beating people up, cat-themed superhero type guy. Um, and I love how there's like whispers of him, kind of like Batman. Like, have you
Yes.
seen Cat Dude or whatever they call him? There's like
You know
little
how the city
whispers.
is, Paul. If
Yeah.
there's a rumor, you know how that rumor stuff happens. Yep.
So he's kind of getting his reputation, which is great for his reputation.
Yes.
All right. So this particular issue, you start to go more into his surrounding characters,
Yes.
because the only character you sort of met in the first origin issue was his best friend and his dad.
Yeah.
Um, the mother, I think, had passed, right?
Did she?
Well, that's what I assumed. She's not around.
That's what I want you to assume.
All right, all right. Well, that's wow. Dropping some eggs and Easter eggs there. All right.
Oh yeah.
We meet more of his friends, and this is a frenemy. Can you talk about this relationship here?
Oh man, Malcolm. Malcolm Malcolm and Gavin go way back. They grew up, you know. I mean, you know your partners like from elementary school, middle school, like y'all was tight, right? You used to do all this kind of stuff together. You know, you traded toys, you played video games together. Shout out to my son Anthony Height.
Hey,
But
son.
yeah, you look him up. It's a different you'll see where some of the inspiration from the Night Tiger come from. I'll just say that about him. But yeah, so Malcolm had to make a choice when he was a little younger, just probably entering high school, where they were moving. And people kept trying to get Malcolm to go into a gang, you know.
Yeah, I think he described it as these two particular gangs took over his neighborhood, and he had a choice.
Yes.
You know, either join the gang or we go after your family.
That's it. It was an easy choice, you know, for him. But at the same time, and you find that out by issue 3, that Malcolm has actually been protecting Gavin and his friend group.
Yeah.
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 But
Making himself his
yeah,
own type of hero.
exactly. Because that we knew people like that too.
Right.
Right? Like I'm not here doing dirt, but I'm protecting you because I have to do the dirt and you don't.
Right. That's real.
Yeah, that's real.
I was remiss on this panel. I forgot to mention.
I know what you're gonna mention.
If you look in the background, you see a man grabbing his wife and his child, and he says, "Martha Bruce, this way."
There ain't gonna be no Batmans here.
Come on, man. Sewer Reptile points it out. Yes. Love the reference to the Batman Waynes. All these little Easter eggs, nods to comics culture, just sort of ingratiates you more to readers like myself.
I'm really sharing my love, right? It's nothing but love in here.
Yeah, truly. All right. So we meet this character.
Oh, yes. Percival Stone.
Percival Stone, aka P Stone. I get immediate Holocaust killmongery vibes mixed with like Electro.
Yes. And he is a person who unified the gangs.
Yes.
He didn't do it for a good reason, though, which you'll find out in issue 3.
All right.
I guess side, like, you know, anti-hero like maybe for a good reason, but it's all selfishness.
Anti-hero. That's high praise.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of anti-heroes, whatever, tell us about this guy. Who's this guy? Who's the man in black?
The man in black is Lucas Blackthorne, aka Raven, who is part of the Icons. He is their magic user, and in the world of Midnight Tiger. So I'm going to just give you some stuff that's in Midnight Tiger Evo. In the world of Midnight Tiger, the world building is that every dimension has a magical atmosphere. Some dimensions have an atmosphere of 15, like Gavin's world, fairly low. The things that are going to pop up and that Stone ends up hinting about, their dimension had a magical atmosphere of 85%. Raven, or the Blackthorn family's job, is to maintain the balance between dimensions.
Mm.
And so, not to be spoilery or whatever, but you know, Paul, by reading it, he's the guy that's sent to monitor Gavin. He's there for a reason that didn't actually have anything to do with Gavin, but everything to do with him. So yeah, his abilities, he's a dragon human hybrid, and that's what his family is.
A dragon human hybrid.
Yep.
Doesn't get any more intriguing than that. All right. More to come. So P-Stone has his own squad. What can you tell us about his squad?
Oh man, these cats, man. So P-Stone squad is really the unification of the Southsiders, and I forgot the name of the other game that Dwayne wrote. But what has happened with them is that they're like little lackeys. They go out, they scout, they maintain a sense of ominous, threatening behavior, right? And they also perpetuate the fear of this man. So if you see his squad, then you know he's doing something.
Right.
Right. You know he's up to something, he's doing something, he wants something. And I believe, well, you'll read it later on, but there's a part where Gavin is talking to the icons and is telling them about Stone. And it's like, you treating this man like he's a common criminal. But he is not a common criminal. So that's his squad. And Stone is like, in order to keep this stuff quiet with this new amp going on, he is actually threatening my power. He is threatening my sovereignty over Apollo Bay. We can't have that. Right? We can't. We need to make this fool an example. Go on and gaffling up. I mean, I don't know if you have the page, but you see how he got caught up.
Yeah.
He wasn't expecting that because, first of all, he never did this job before.
Their little area of operation is James Kelly Park. Where does the name James Kelly come from?
Oh, Jim Kelly. The great
Jim Kelly?
The Jim Kelly.
All right.
I'm it's all kind of nods, you know. It's all kind of nods. That's how I grew up. 3 the hard way, you know.
That is not a bad reference to make.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
That's it. I knew you was gonna play that. I had that's exactly it. It's my nods, man.
That's my dude. It's
all right. I made this comic for you, huh?
it really is. I feel kind of personal. I mean, I've been getting a little emotional here.
Nice.
Icons.
Yes.
Let's run through the squad. First of all, that's a great picture. I love this art.
Thank you. I thought it was a great way to end it was going to be more, but like I said, when I got to issue 2 and I realized they weren't going to pay me, I was like, I'm going to end it on this note and leave it as a cliffhanger on purpose. And what better way than to drop the icons? Now, this is his dream squad. Gavin is a huge fan of the icons. And if you was going to be a superhero, this is the team you want to be on. If you are a young superhero, this is the team you want to be on. So, we got Lieutenant Grant Goodrich, who was the cop that was in the emergency room with Gavin and his dad explaining what happened. Goodrich is a retired superhero who has taken to creating this team. This is his team. He is like, you know what? We need some oversight because the conglomerate, which is the Justice League of our universe, can't do everything. And that they have this whole idea about themselves that, no, we handle the cataclysms. We don't handle street. We let the police handle the rest of the stuff or whatever, right? But there's more than that. There's criminals that are somewhere in that in between, that they're too powerful for the police, but they're not powerful enough for the conglomerate to deal with. Who handles that? They handle
Sheriff? What about Sheriff? Tell us about Sheriff.
Sheriff, what is it? The Superhuman Enforcement Reconnaissance Force. It's a whole thing. I got to remember all the things. I don't have my paperwork right here. But so Sheriff is the government's version of how to deal with this, and they work with the icons. So they're not SHIELD in that SHIELD does a lot of espionage and all that.
They're more like a SWAT team for metahumans.
Yes, they're an AMP SWAT team. And so they get called in. They have collars. If you look in the action verse, they handle a roided out hyena in action verse. And they come pick him up. And they have a facility much like the raft or the vault where they take these whacked out amps to, right? So they have crafted, as a matter of fact, it's going to be revealed that Goodrich actually created the technology they use in order to dampen the powers of amps. Right. He's that dude. All right,
can you tell us about the rest of the people on his squad? Who's the guy with the helmet?
So the guy with the helmet is Pulsefire. He is let's just say he's a human alien that is actually, he meant to come back to a certain time in the past, but he overshot by 10 years to come back to see his little brother. And so now he has to get used to human culture all over again. His powers are that of like a Nova or a Green Lantern.
Okay.
And then we have Undertow, who is in blue and black.
Right.
Is the ambassador of my version of Atlantis called Demetrite. And if you look in the mythological books, there was a city that was a sister city. I believe it's called Demetria, that was supposed to be at the same time as Atlantis. Well, that sister city survived and Atlantis didn't in my universe. So she's there as an ambassador, and she is also somebody who is really trying to learn diplomacy between the cultures. But she's a kid. She's a powerful kid, but she's a kid. They're all under 20 years old, except for Wraith. They're 20 and under, except for Wraith, who's in the back. That's got that spooky mask and the eye. And I can't wait to get to her. So the one that's in the foreground with Goodrich is Omega Girl, who is the daughter of the Omegan. She is my Supergirl. But more importantly, she's more like Wonder Man, where she is powered by this force, just like all of her family. But for her, her abilities are tied to her emotions. And so her whole thing is she could generate different powers, but she hasn't figured it out yet. So mostly she uses strength, invulnerability, flight. That's all she uses right now. Then we have Stalacton, the kid in the back, the Thai kid, he's a Filipino kid. And he is an earth elemental. He's cocky. He thinks literally the world, the earth, revolves around him.
Mm-hmm.
He actually doesn't even like the idea of Gavin being in the base because he's jealous. He's like, he's that dude. He's like, we don't need somebody else. It turns out, you find out that he is feeling some kind of way at Lion's Blood's death. and he's not looking for a replacement.
Hmm.
Because Lion's Blood was like an uncle to them. And then we have Wraith in the back. Wraith makes Elektra look like somebody with a white belt. She also has a trick. She can see 3 seconds into the future.
Okay.
And her style is called Angel Fist. She has an ability to essentially knock your soul out of your body.
Oh, that's dope. I got to see that.
Yeah. So
I got to see you do that.
that's the icons.
That's the icons. Who drew this page right here?
Me. I drew all of issue 1. Well, I drew everything, but I drew that.
Do you still have your original art for this, or do you do it?
Somebody wants that art. I believe so. But that's when I started drawing on 8.5 by 11. So it might be 8.5 by 11, but I think I do have it.
I'll talk to you after the show.
Okay.
All right. So then we go to issue 3, cover by whom?
The homie.
One of the best that ever did it, Mr. Torrin Clark.
Yes.
Shout out to Torrin Clark.
And this will be the only cover for the comics. This he's somebody who is always tangential. He's like, you need a cover, you hit me up.
Yeah, that's the dude right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into issue 3.
There we go. The banger. This is it.
Before we jump into issue 3, I'd like all of you watching, please help Black Comic Lords out. Take a second, hit the like button right there, little fist up, hit that. Hit share. Take a second, share the video. Oh, just hit the share button. Share it on any social media platform. I don't care. Just share the video. We're trying to get the channel to grow. We've got a con in December. We're going to talk to y'all about. We want all of you to show up. So we're trying to get as many people as we can to that. So help us help you.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about issue 3. What's going on here?
This is the final tape. He knew that he was going to die. And
Lion's Blood
knew he was going to die. And this is him essentially talking to Gavin and letting him know, because in the thought process, Lion's Blood also thought that Gavin would take his place. So it's a whole rundown of what's happened, this legacy, his abilities. He's very, again, like I said, he was apologetic, right? And he knows that he's not there to actually tell Gavin how his powers work. He has no mentor, especially about his abilities or even his legacy. But he hints that he knows something about Gavin that nobody knows.
But we don't know what that is yet.
You'll know it in Evo.
That's tough.
Yeah. And if somebody got the link to the Kickstarter, pop it up there. This is our first look at a Castrol.
What's her name?
Her name is Sphinx, and she is from the other dimension. And she is what is called a Castrol. She carries, remember I talked about that magical atmosphere?
Mm-hmm.
In her universe, she was a minor deity. And she's more of a manipulative kind of deity. But she's been manipulating P. Stone this entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely giving, I mean, you can see it just visually. He's giving deference to her.
Yeah. And she's that powerful. But her whole main thing, you don't really know what she's trying to do. You know she has a job to do. And she's keeping him in line, and he has to be the face while she does whatever she does in the shadows.
Yeah, she's pulling the puppet strings in the back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So what we saw here, Lion's Blood, as you said, knew he was going to pass on the power torch, so to speak, to Gavin. Gavin's visiting with the icons. The icons are like, look, Lion's Blood was our dude. He was the main dude in the squad. He's gone. power of nature abhors a vacuum.
Yes.
We need you to take his spot because he passed on his powers to you to take his spot. And I love how Gavin's reaction is like, look, I don't mess with y'all because look, he's like, oh, we thought you were a fan. I thought you loved like he's like, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you guys as a concept.
Yes.
But in reality, you guys are out fighting, mega super villains over in Europe and what have you, or out in space. And my homies up the street need help. And that's kind of not what you guys are focused on. So I'm gonna let y'all keep doing what y'all doing.
Yeah.
Y'all do that. I'm gonna help my homies over here. Do that.
No disrespect.
I'll be over here. No disrespect.
Yep.
No disrespect. And they're like, all right, well, we can respect it. We don't agree with it, but we can respect it. Lion's Blood, by the way, had a little package here for you. Take that and kick rocks. Get out. So they kick him out. He goes home, opens up the case. And what does he have?
Yes.
A new suit.
Yes. And before that, Goodrich tells him, like, he was like, what you said, about all the stuff we're not doing or whatever in your city, you're right, but this ain't the right time for that conversation.
Right.
But yeah,
so
he got some new hotness.
He's got some new hotness. He's got the new. I love how early on when he would first put on his original suit and he's going out on patrol, he's like, man, I really need some type of long distance offensive capability. And Lion's Blood already thought of it. What is this weapon? What is he shooting out of that little wrist thing?
So that's the Talon, and it is an energy weapon. So it's essentially a hard light kind of weapon. And it is crafted by both magic from Raven and his family.
Yeah.
And nanite technology that is one is specifically designed by Goodrich to merge together.
Right.
So it's in tune to him. And is specifically designed to work with his DNA. There's other things about it is not unlocked because he's just getting it right now. But yeah.
As it turns out, and this is the best part.
I love it.
He gets the new suit, has new abilities, and you're thinking, oh wow, now he's gonna confront, P-Stone and take him out with his new abilities and new gadgets and stuff. Turns out he ain't need all that. He took out P-Stone basically all hands.
Yes.
And then as he's standing over, look at P-Stone's expression. He's like defeated, he's bloody, he looks scared for the first time, he's looking up at him, he's on his ass, and Midnight Tiger looking down on him is like, look, I understand our first fight didn't go this way because, quite frankly, I was taking it easy on you and I just wasn't using my full abilities. But, just recognize I could do this all day.
That's right. That's right, baby.
I thought this was the coldest scene in the book. He said, notice first time, depower your body to focus all the power into your fist. That leaves you pretty vulnerable if you didn't. So I understand he's not like a super genius or anything, but he's tactical.
There you go. You got it.
Right?
He's always watching.
He's always watching. He's always absorbing, and he's tactical. He thought about, I figured out how you do what you do. And he goes, oh yeah. And last time I was holding back. I never want to hurt anyone more than I have to.
There you go.
That's like the dopest of all threats. Like, I really could have hurt you a lot more, but I'm not about that type of violence.
Yep.
That's even more threatening.
He's a good guy. Gavin's a good guy, that's the thing, man. When you live in a hood like that, you've seen enough pain for several lifetimes. Why would you be the person that'll want to inflict that? He's got that in him. At least right now he does.
P Stone is like, yeah, I tried to do that hero life, but I realized it was the suckers who want to stay broke and corny.
Yeah.
Like, I can truly see a guy saying that.
Oh yeah.
All right.
He's a hood boy, you know.
So the
And,
story
wait,
ends
Paul.
with,
Before you get started, I'll tell you this:
yeah.
if they pick up the new book, the Kickstarter, I have 3 backups, and one of them is how P Stone got his powers and where his attitude comes from.
Okay.
So you get a little backstory on him.
That going further down the rabbit hole, I'm all for it.
Yep.
All right. So final page, issue 3. Gavin reveals his identity to somebody. You want to say who it is?
Do you have a page? I can say it.
I'm not putting the page. Look.
It's his pops. Him and his pops are close, like very, very close. And as you can see, he's basically spitting back what his pops taught him. Because his pops is an interesting character. Where when his dad was younger, after he got out of the military, he became a cop because he has the same kind of mentality, like I want to help people. Then he found out cops ain't right, and there's so much stuff going on, and I can't do it by myself because it's cats in the city. They extorting cats. They planting shit on people. They doing all this kind of stuff, and
Right.
I can't be the one rat. I want to be, but this is not what I signed up for. And he is some other stuff in his past that I'm not going to get into, where he's like, you know what, I quit, because he was about to, become a detective, all this kind of stuff, very young, right? I would say in his, mid 30s or so. So he said, but I still want to help. So he quits the force, and he becomes a fireman, which you saw. And so now he works for the fire department. And so he's always telling Gavin about helping people, live a life of service. This is what the Shaws do. The Shaws live a life of service because there's always somebody who's going to need help. And if you see somebody who is in need of help, then you help them, which is the reason why he ended up helping the Lions Blood in the first place. It's been part of him since the beginning. Look at you leaning back. There you go.
Yeah. I mean,
this is crafted, brother.
It is because, the Marvel formula is typically, I suffered some type of tragedy and I want to make sure that doesn't happen to somebody else. And so I'm kind of forced out of guilt or obligation to become a hero.
Yes.
Right? Peter Parker's forced to become a hero. Wolverine had a tragic background. He became a hero as a result of that. Just countless stories of people suffering accidents or some type of tragedy and inspired them to become a hero. It wasn't really his story.
No.
Remember, I'm circling back to what I said before. He was a hero before he got the power.
Yeah.
He was inspired to be a hero not through tragedy, but by his family.
Yep.
His family of service. It's in his DNA to be of service to his community. He has the icons, which is the team that he worships. He literally, not figuratively, literally has their posters on his wall.
Yes.
Loves this team. And when he gets invited, he's like, nah, I have to follow my gut, my heart, and I have to serve my community. That's not y'all. I want to serve my community. So I'm going to turn my back on my dream of hanging out with my dream team, the icons, and I'm going to serve my community because that's what my heart tells me to do. That's a different type of story. You could have gone all formulaic with it, but you took it from a different angle. I think that's a dope approach.
I mean, that's a lot of it is from my life. That's the kind of father I had,
Yeah.
And we don't tell a lot of those stories. We don't, especially Black men.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot more of Black men, especially Black young men like Gavin, than there are of, stick-up kids.
Right.
Right? But who do we see the most of? So I'm telling that side of the story. Like I always tell people, we are a diaspora. Right? So There's all kind of stories. Sure, there are stories where it's like, we're going to fight the racists, you know? I'm not saying that there's not allegory in this book about that kind of thing. I mean, the Castro's whole thing is we're here and we're invading this city in order to feed on you, in order to entertain us, and in order to keep you as slaves to work for us. There's an allegory to the Castros. But then there's this boy who is about service. He wants to save his community. He definitely believes that everybody, and he means everybody, should live their dream, should have a chance to live their dream. And when they are cut down and nobody helps them, there's a sense of helplessness that people have. That fear is crippling. And he's not interested in having that being visited on other people if he can help it. So his dad is the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's beautiful that he's inspired to be a hero by his dad, who is a real life hero, a genuine hero himself.
Bam.
You know, makes me think of my dad. My dad was my hero.
This is made for you.
This is made for me, man. It's a dope story, man.
Thank you.
These are the type of heroes that we need to represent us. These are the type of heroes that we need to inspire our next generation.
Absolutely.
This is I big fan, man. Big fan.
Thank you.
Since 2012.
Look, you can get whatever. Hey, whatever you ask, you hit me up. Yep.
All right.
See if I accommodate that.
So, so we have.
Oh man.
Hold up. I was jumping ahead. Got to do this properly.
This is a Black Comic Lords exclusive.
All right. So we have a Black Comic Lords exclusive directly from Ray Anthony Hyde himself.
Yes.
Here we go. Tell us what we have here.
This is 2 pages from the Hub City crossover, Hub City being Compton. Okay. We have 3 creators, and it's myself, Marcus Newsom, who is the creator of Lightning Strike, the character right next to Gavin, and the other cat, Sincere, is created by Jamal Anansi. And Sincere is pistol whipping somebody right now. But this is unprecedented. We got together, and we've always kind of like, I met Jamal when he was thinking, trying to build some things, and he hadn't put out a comic yet. He's a writer, brilliant writer from Compton. Loved the guy. And was like, well, what you going to do? And then within 8 months, Paul, he had a line of books. Yo, 6 layers. What's up, y'all? So at the same time, I have Marcus Newsom. He has several issues of Lightning Strike. Just like Midnight Tiger, his stuff takes place in the hood, right? So we're coming from these different avenues of Compton because nobody knows that life better than we do. I grew up during the riots. I was in high school in 92, right? Like, I know what that life is like. I drove my car through the fires and the riots to pick up friends who was in trouble. Rodney King. Yes. Yeah. Right? There was riots at my school because of all this, right? It was this whole thing. All of us got together. It was like, we need to do a comic. We need to do a comic together. And as a publisher and as the senior, I was like, let's go. So we have Marcus Newsom doing the artwork, and Jamal Anansi does the writing. It is through my publishing company, Studio Skye Tiger Comics. I also am editing it and doing this whole thing. And it is basically the title of it is called Sincere, American Nightmare. And Sincere is definitely an anti-hero. He's kind of like the Joker.
I like him to like Killmonger meets.
Yes.
What was the other person I said he reminded me of?
Oh man, I forgot how you said. Well, it's kind of like, would you say Killmonger, the Punisher? Who did you say?
It was something like that.
Something like that. It was something like that. And so we're doing this book that the book is already done, y'all. And I'm waiting until the Midnight Tiger Evo Kickstarter has been funded and it's over. And then sometime in November, we're actually had a meeting about it today. We're going to drop this one. And it's going to be 28 pages. It's a small book. It's for the city. It's Compton love all over this. It's for the community. And we're going to have it. Like I said, I think we should have it ready by or out by December, but we're going to drop that Kickstarter in November. And but yeah, I mean, this is a long time coming, and even more behind the scenes. I know we're going to get to Studio Skye Tiger as a company, but they have joined. Like this thing has taken off. My company has taken off in a way that I didn't see coming. I just wanted to do my own comics, man. And then people were just like, well, we want to join. We see what you're doing, and we want to be a part of it. You know, over the weekend, I had people pitching to me. We just got Coy Turnbull. If you know Coy Turnbull's work, he has become part of Studio Skye Tiger. He was part of Michael Turner's group. He did Batman, Superman. He did, Coy is a beast. And so we just added Coy. We added an extremely talented, artist named Sable, who's brilliant. He's got that. He's basically up there with me with that manga American kind of thing, He's in the same line as me, and then shout out to my crew, which is TJ Bell, who has been promoted to editor-in-chief, but was my lead for a while. It still is, TJ is awesome. And then Elisa Del Castillo is a core artist. We have I forgot Lucas's last name, but we just added him, and he's worked with Jamal Anansi. So right now we actually have, well, I'll wait to get to that part when we talk about the studio more, but just look out for this Sincere American Nightmare. It is a Hub City crossover, and again, unprecedented. We're actually going to be honored in Compton next weekend on October the 11th.
Really?
Yes.
Where at?
It will be at Gonzalez Park, 1 p.m. And yeah, we get to talk about our careers. We get to talk about what being from Compton means to creating Compton comics. Because I've been on Marvel interviews. I've been on the big stage at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm talking about, you know what I mean? I'm talking about.
I've been to Compton twice in the past year. Because I have family that live out there, and I had my preconceptions because boys in the hood.
Yes,
I'm expect drive-bys, Bloods, Crips, all the stuff you see in Hollywood.
Yes, and
Compton's not like that at all. I mean, I'm sure there's elements of that somewhere, but when I got there, I was like, "This is just a black neighborhood."
Exactly.
I mean, it's. And you got these art studios, you've got restaurants, you've got just the murals. Oh my God.
Beautiful, right?
Oh my God. Murals on every block. Just the most fantastic murals I've ever seen. And I've been to most major cities in the world. Yeah. The murals in Compton are phenomenal.
Our creative energy in Compton is explosive.
Yeah.
It's explosive. But when you mention Compton to people, they think about the Bloods and the Crips and the drugs and the whatever,
Right.
I'm not saying that stuff didn't exist, and in some respects still exists a little bit or whatever, but it's mostly right. It's mostly people like me. It's mostly people like my wife. It's that, right? That's right. Regular
as
people.
Your wife said, regular people.
Regular people. Some of the best people in the world, right? So when you see the concept of Midnight Tiger, that's the reason why he's me. He wants to save those people and protect those people because we are more than our negative press.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's why we're doing this. That's why, I have been told you need to show your. I used to be Paul. I used to also be one of those people that didn't like to appear in things, or I was fairly quiet in my early career. Because I didn't like to really, I wasn't pushing social media or whatever until I kept getting told, we don't see people like you at this level doing this job. We need to see more people like you. And then guess what it did to me? These memories. It's like, remember how you felt when you saw Dennis Cowan and Dwayne Lim on the cover? That's you, bro. But for Compton. So you need to do that. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And at the same time, this is why Studio Skye Tiger exists. Because I know that there's people who would not get a chance otherwise to be doing what we're doing as much as they love it. You know, so I'm giving them a chance, and I'm using the name I built to lift people up. So,
do you have any titles yet at Studio Skye Tiger that center around Compton as a character?
There is not entirely. I would say that Gavin will travel to Compton. Compton is actually, there's a cover with the MLK Memorial that's in the center of Compton, near Compton High School. There's a cover with Midnight Tiger on it and that in the background. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Which cover is that?
I have to show it to you.
Oh, I need to get that. Let me pre-order that.
I think it's, if you look inside your book, it might be inside it. But that's and we're doing a print for the Compton Historical Society on the 11th also with that on it. Yeah,
just put me down to get that cover. I'm gonna pre-order it from now.
You got it.
I want that one. All right. So I had a couple questions, but before we get into that, let's talk about what you've been talking about, which is Studio Skye Tiger. Okay. Which is not working because Derek's not here and I'm screwing everything up.
You had it earlier. You got it.
I had it, man. I had it.
You had it.
What did I do wrong? Let's go here.
You got
me. Hit here. Remove the other media streams from the stage. All right. So let's.
And Ken.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. I'm gonna answer Ken real quick. Jason Drexler will be in Evo. Yes.
All right. So here's this portfolio for Studio Skye Tiger. Now, I mentioned to y'all before that we're going to be a quiz at the end, right? I said, make note of his art styles. Let's do a run through. Remember, talk about all the companies he's worked for: Marvel, DC, Image. He's done it all.
Even Viz Media.
Look, this is from a DC book. DC Power Rise just came out earlier this year, or was it end of last year? I don't remember.
I thought it was earlier this year.
Earlier this year. Here's his one style with Jace Fox and my boy The Signal, which was a great pair, by the way. Like these two. Look, this story made me realize these guys should have their own book. They should have their own Batman and Signal book.
Vita and I have been hearing that, yes.
This was a dope story. Every person who I know who read this story was like, this is actually a dope story.
Appreciate that.
All right. Oh, crap. What did I just do? I would hit the wrong button again. This is what happens when your producer is out doing what he does, saving the world. All right. Power Company Recharged. Notice that this art style is slightly different than this art style.
Yep, very subtle.
A little bit harsher on the edges.
Yes.
A little bit more dynamism here. Look at the shadows and the use of light and dark is different here. Yep. Getting his Rembrandt on. For those who went to took art classes like myself. Little subtle differences. Then we go to the coup de grace, in my opinion.
All right. I love it.
What you did in Shadow Cabinet. I was big fan of the Shadow Cabinet series with Joe Illich. And I was fanboying every episode I did with Joe Illich when we were doing our series on that.
I love that. You guys.
I was fanboying every
So good.
single issue. But when we got to that final issue, that fourth issue, and I'm reading through it, and there's different creators in there, and I got to your page. I was like, dang it, who the F is that? I actually had to like flip through and look at the credits and like, wait, why does it say Ray Anthony Height? That's Ray Anthony Height? No, that's Ray Anthony Height. Man, your style was like a whole nother level in this book.
Yes.
The way that you drew technique,
Mm.
it wasn't even that many pages, which made me big
we didn't
mad.
have very many pages.
It made me big mad because I wanted more.
Well,
But it was
they
so
allowed
well
me to
done.
design. That was the other part. Well, they allowed me to design things too.
Yeah.
And I designed Technique's helmet.
Yeah.
And the gloves and all that. It was like, we hired you to do the thing you do. Like, we hired you to do this because we know that we want that anime, animated feel to it. And I was like, oh, so I get to be 100% me. Okay. So the thing is about that is I did all of the pencils and I had my crew. So I inked some, they inked some, right? Like, that's what the crew does. That's what the studio does. And we bang that out.
Fantastic job.
Yeah.
My only criticism is I wanted more. It was just that good.
Well, leave that up to super editor Marquise Draper, because Marquise is like, I know you're working on your own stuff. I know you're starting your company, the publishing and whatever. So I will not bother you until I have something that is worth your time. And I said, Marquise, hey.
That's real. That's real.
My door is open to him, yes.
I try not to talk about Marquise too much. Because he needs to be kept on a low.
He really does.
Not that I don't believe the brother doesn't deserve his accolades, but I don't want certain people in the comic book community, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. I know. I already
find out who he is and what he's doing.
He's amazing.
And connect the dots and be like, who's this dude? He's did what now? What book? What cat? He's put who on?
Yep.
I don't need that to happen. So I used to push hard on Marquise, like, hey, shout him out. Say, oh, you need to come on the show. I'm like, no, pause.
Yeah.
Pause. I need him to keep doing what he's doing. Be our secret weapon.
He is. I told him pretty much the same thing. I was like, what you're doing, we need you.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah.
So whatever you need, if you need me to help you facilitate whatever it is that you're doing, I will lend you my sword.
Marquise, if you're ever watching this, I want you to know something. I'm paying attention.
Yes.
I see what you're doing. Shh. I got your back, bro.
Yeah.
I got your back. All right. Yeah, he deserves his flowers. Real bad boys move in silence. All right, going back. Now let's check out this style. What the hell is this?
These are my
unreleased pirate comic. For real, dude?
So I couldn't name it, but I want to say now it's out. TJ Sterling. You familiar with Mr. TJ Sterling and Ray Comics?
That's the week after next.
Ooh, okay.
Was I supposed to mention that? Crap. I always get in trouble when I'm rogue.
Look, you dropping stuff too. So
I'm supposed to mention that. Just didn't know I just said that, everybody.
He did this thing, which is brilliant, and he caught me basically in a transition. I was building the studio. The studio was essentially terraforming, and that's when I had the notion that, you know what, I think I want to do this publishing company and just go full blast, whole ass into doing my own stuff. But I was in the middle of doing Mansa Musa.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what this is from.
I almost cursed on the line. For real?
For real. And then
has that ever been done before? Has anyone ever put Mansa Musa in the comic before?
I don't know, but I know he posted it up so recent. Yeah.
When does this drop, man?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
I don't want to hear that, dude. I don't
know anything.
I don't want to hear that, Ray.
I don't know anything. I'm not even a part of it anymore. Not like that. Yep.
These pages look fantastic.
Yeah.
Another
a lot of fun.
Another Ray Anthony Height style. Because this does not look like this. This does not look like this. This does not look like this.
Oh, look, you see Sean Damian Hill.
2, 3, 4 different art styles. Not including the freaking cover I showed you for the 2 Midnight Tiger covers.
Hold up, but
6
look at
styles.
it. Paul, look at it. I have a base style. This is all variations on my style. And I don't know if you know this, but I also did WTF Mama's art.
You did not.
I absolutely did. It's in my it's in the portfolio.
Hold on.
It's in the studio portfolio.
Wait, no, hold on. Let me...
That cover was drawn by Nate Lovett, who is brilliant. But everything else in there, I did that. I lettered that story.
Height, creator, writer, Ray Anthony Height, artist and letterer.
Right now, I'm gonna get off my modesty box, and I'm gonna tell you something real. If y'all listening to me,
man, talk your talk, bro. Go do your thing, bro.
There is nothing in comics I can't do.
That's what I want to hear, man. Come on.
They just
talk your ish, bro.
And I'm teaching it to people.
That's what's up,
right? So I'm about that life. I am a teacher, but I also bang. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is.
Wow.
That just floored you, huh?
Yeah, I didn't realize that you did that art, man. It's like for real. I read through this and I didn't even realize that was your art.
Did you enjoy it?
Of course. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's like the Boondocks meets the PJs or something.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Dope.
85-year-old grandma, baddest grandma in comics. You ain't never seen that.
I'm going to show people.
Yeah, show them.
Yeah. Hold on. Go right here real quick.
You got to, look, show some of them sequentials, though. Those are our strips. Show some sequentials. And this just came out. And Paul, talk about the quality of the book.
Look at this paper. First of all, shout out to the Prince homage cover. That's dope. I appreciate that. There's the other covers here too.
This is what we do at Studio Skye Tiger Comics. Y'all remember that? That's real.
Look at this cover.
American Beauty. Sherilyn Cabo did that one. And the last one, the main cover, that's me.
Look at that. Now you know that's Compton.
Oh yeah. You know it is.
Showing you the sequential art.
I'm most proud of the lettering because I love lettering.
I didn't know you did lettering too.
Yeah.
Look, you even did the
what
do you call it? The my
Can you see that? The glare is getting. Oh, there it is.
The glare is can you see the right there? That's what I was trying to show you.
Yes.
Ah, crap! I suck at this. Here we go. Shaka, boom, boom.
I should have gave you the PDF of that.
You should have. I said, give me everything.
Next time, yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad.
All right. Let's get back to it. Where was I?
Yes, T.J. Bell inked that cover. I mean, yeah, inked my cover.
Baddest grandma in comics.
That's right. She built that car. That's the lore.
Seward Reptile says, I inked that car days after I told Ray I hate doing cars. He has a habit of doing.
I have brought out the best in my people because I make them do things they hate and they bang on it. So, Paul, can you actually enlarge pieces of that?
Of which one?
Of what you're showing right now.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can.
If you can do that. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay, try to go to where the house. Yeah, that's perfect. Do you see that background right there? The page with all the background of the house?
Uh-huh.
That's TJ.
Wow, look at the detail.
That's TJ Bell. TJ does not like to do backgrounds, or didn't.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Can everyone see that? Yeah. Look at the details in this background. That's crazy.
And what's crazy is my layouts for that were incredibly loose. That was the challenge. I was like, you got this. And what you guys are seeing right now is the pre-production artwork on what has come out as Defiant.
From Stranger Comics. Shout out to Stranger Comics.
So when Rob Edwards and myself and the Legion M Cats was developing this, we saw it as an animated thing. And as you can see, that's the style we chose. But they decided to go with, which I think is great, they went with a more traditional comic style. And I love what they've done.
And I hear the pages from your.
Oh, yes.
Oh, crap.
Oh, you got, look, you're doing good. I'm sure they don't mind seeing more art, you know.
Let's talk about this mom. Is this based on your wife's real life mom?
You know what? She can type. Paul's asking. You know, I mean, it is her grandmother. You know, Nana, who you know, God miss her, love her. But her family, man, you read the book.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those strips are based on true stories. Some of them are almost exactly true, but the names have changed.
Yeah, Nana's kind of wild.
Right? And everybody, as you know, I mean, all folks, but as Black folks, we have those aunties and grandmas and mamas that say stuff like, "Hey, why you say that? Look at his raggy drawers. Whose raggy drawers are these?"
I fell out when I saw these drawers.
Yeah. And that's all my artwork.
So that would make, what is it? What are we up to now?
8
different styles.
Here's another style for you. The Defiant cover.
Wow. I love seeing, because here's the finished product at the lower part.
Yes.
But it's always brilliant to see the original, just pens and pencils and inks.
Yes. That's my favorite part. I mean, I love coloring.
So much
and
more
I didn't
detail.
color that, Paul, just by the way. I don't know who colored it, but shout out to them. I did everything on that cover.
What book is this? White Ash. Is that like a horror book? What is this?
It is a book where it's urban fantasy, and there's these elves and dwarves and stuff in the city. I believe the city is called White Ash, and it's about their stories and them kind of navigating all of that. And it's done by Charlie Stickney, who is actually really mentoring me on how to do Kickstarters in that way. He is one of the biggest Kickstarter publishers out there. Okay. Right? It's White Ash Comics. Charlie Stickney is brilliant, and I thank him for that. This one was done by TJ Bell. I told you, my people are bangers, right? So, and this was done by a friend of mine who is Erin Fitzgerald, brilliant voiceover actress, Emmy nominated, and we did this as a favor because she was doing a one-woman show. I gave TJ the layout, and again, this is, and it was pencil layout. TJ, man, one of the best in the studio.
Erin Fitzgerald, Wonderful Woman of Oz.
Yep, a one-woman show. Yeah, that was a fun cover to do. That was strictly animation. And what can you see? What do you know about this cover?
Cowboys and aliens, man. Like, you're seeing sci-fi and cowboys. You had me at that.
So this is a book by Brian Posehn, my friend Chris. Man, Chris, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your last name, Chris Johnson, and this is an image book called Rifters, and essentially it is basically like Time Cop, but comedy. And
well, when does this come out?
This already is out.
This is already out?
This is already out.
Damn it.
Yep. And this was a variant. I don't know how many of the variant it was, but when Chris, and I've known Chris for years, and Chris was like, I'd love to have you do a cover. And I was like, can I do whatever I want? And it was like, yeah, I did several pitches. There was a Joan of Arc thing. There was a bunch of things. And then I pitched this Western because I like Westerns. And the car that they had is pretty dope. So I was in my Back to the Future bag. And that's what I came up with.
Just talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to.
Yeah, man. Like that was really, really fun to do. And as you see, like it's definitely, an animated feel. That's really like the theme for Studio Sky Tiger, as far as I'm concerned, is, we make your favorite animated shows in comic book form.
Bro, like, I don't see this cover.
Oh, but you see Rifters, right?
Oh yeah, I see Rifters.
I don't know if it's even offered anymore.
It's
sold out. I mean, you can look it up, man. Those collectors. I ended up signing a couple of them, so they're out there.
Man, you got me all excited. I immediately pulled it, Derek. I pulled it. Oh, I found it.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, you about to? Yeah, is it 2 or 3? What issue is it?
It's issue 2.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. Oh crap! I'm doing a show. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I take my comic collecting seriously. Joyce Manor album comic cover.
Yep. So Joyce Manor, the group, if you guys know the band, they the band had a comic book, I believe, but they also needed a cover to use as a kind of a giveaway, a comic cover, and to go with the album. So I banged that out. And so that's a style that is, I didn't create that style. That style is in the same style as the comic. I just, copied it. And these
character designs, all art and lettering.
So this is all by the studio. Again, that top design is by Elisa Del Castillo. The WTF Mama stuff is by Marquise, and the Arise to Ruin, our Buck Rogers homage. It's like Thundar the Barbarian meets Evangelion kind of thing. Those designs are there. You see designs of a few Castrals from TJ Bale, Beanie, which is a standout.
Awesome.
Yeah, pull that up. And we got a siren, So I haven't given the siren a name yet, but we'll do that. And then there's designs. There's a design for a pitch. I'm going to talk about my boy again, Marquise Draper. I sent Marquise a pitch to reboot Amazing Man. And
I was about to say, why does the dude in green look like Amazing Man?
That's who it is. And he liked the pitch, but I guess they couldn't find a place for it. The other guy is a speedster, from a project I was working on that, I don't know if I'm going to keep the design or not. But
As an aside, why are there so few black speedsters and we like the fastest people on the planet?
that's why I'm thinking about how to keep this cat. I
They
mean,
never made it, never
one of
made it.
Midnight Tiger's powers is speed, but I'm just saying, I'm doing some
There
things.
needs to be more black speedsters, preferably from Jamaica, which is the fastest people on the planet.
That cat's Jamaican.
Of course he is. Why? Because Ray Anthony Height is my personal comic book creator. He makes comics for me. The rest of you
clearly,
people,
I didn't realize that, but yeah, I think that's it. I think if anything out of this interview comes, is I make comics for Paul, and Paul only.
And Paul only. The rest of you can thank me because you get to languish in the wake of my happiness.
Yes, exactly.
All right. We had a few questions here for you that I'd starred.
Let's bring it. Bring in the questions on.
Wait, there's a button here that allows me. Ooh, look at the new buttons. Oh, it's just 2 questions. All right. So here's
the gumdrop buttons.
Forever 97 says, what is the inspiration for Midnight Tiger?
The fact that I wish that we had superheroes in Compton, and that we didn't have representation of a positive and healthy depiction of a father-son relationship. And as far as design and idea, as far, that kind of stuff is, again, as is baked into the cake, is Puma and Spider-Man, and like a teenage Spider-Man. So it's all of those things wrapped up into one, plus my kid, plus Anthony Height, because he was a Spider-Man fan. Like his pictures of him over our house is him taking pictures of Spider-Man. That's his favorite character. So all of those things roll into one. It is growing up in Compton and seeing a need. It is seeing the hopelessness that some of us have. And if, like Midnight Tiger, Gavin Shaw ultimately is supposed to be a beacon of hope. He's supposed to inspire you to do better, but be yourself. Don't wait for somebody to save you. Save yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where the inspiration comes from.
And you don't even have to wait to get superpowers.
Don't even have to wait. Do it.
Charles Stewart III, would you say that there was something valuable and maybe something acquired by doing 2 books simultaneously, like skill-wise or strength gained?
I would say yes, but there's a price to pay. So if you do 2 books a month, you will definitely learn how to be faster and figure out a shorthand for yourself. All of these things that will strengthen your ability as a comic book artist. But that is at the sacrifice of sleep, unless you're fast. If you are fast, then hey, it's fine. But ultimately, man, like doing 2 books a month as a creative, you guys wouldn't know this. Maybe you nerds like me and Paul wouldn't know this, but the thing that burns the most calories in your body is your brain.
Yeah.
So when you're doing 2 books a month, that's a lot of mental gymnastics. That's why you get tired. So that's a sacrifice. But you will get stronger. You'll learn a lot. Insomnia is real. Yes. I keep telling my people, like, get some sleep. Get some damn sleep. Because you can't do this job on fumes.
Right.
You just can't.
And with that, we thank you for your time, Mr. Ray Anthony Height.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'm sorry it's so overdue.
This is the first of many. How about that?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Because we just went through a whole litany of books that I need you to come back and talk about.
I will talk about anything you want, man. Yeah. I'll talk about barbecue because that's a skill I have. Don't have nothing to do with comic books. It's
Well,
not a secret why Gavin is a chef.
I tell you what, next time I come visit my family out in Compton, I'll holler at you.
You do that. You give me a
And-
heads up.
And so I can get some of that barbecue.
No doubt. I got a line waiting too, Paul.
You go, okay.
Yeah. Once people found out that I get down, that was like, and I don't know if you know editor Chris Robinson.
Yeah, I've heard of Chris Robinson.
He's had my brisket. He's been to the house. They're friends of the family.
All right.
So there you go.
All right. I mean, you got to be good to be able to make brisket that's worth anyone wanting to have it, because you either do it well or it sucks.
There you go. I mean, hey, preach that, because that's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
All right, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. Again, please hit the like button, share the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. There's no reason not to. It's free to do so. And I'll give you a little added incentive. If you become a member, you get a membership with Black Comic Lords. It's only $5. That will give you a free entry to our virtual Comic-Con December 6th, Saturday, December 6th, 2025. 2 months. We're going to have our very first virtual Comic-Con, of which hopefully I can convince Mr. Ray Anthony Height to join us.
Oh, I'll be there.
You're supposed to say, if I'll check my schedule or whatever. He's like,
Nope.
I'll be.
Nah.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. All right. So I had to find buttons again. God, I hate this job. This is why I have a producer, but he's never here. But
He's saving the world.
He's out saving the world. Where's the button? Okay. So thank you all for your time. Until next time, Black Comic Lords, we got you.